We have arrived at Boreth and eliminated the fek'ihri from the spiritual heart of the Empire. They were in the process of performing a ritual on the sword of Kahless in an attempt to summon back Molor from the grave of Grethor. Whether or not such a thing is possible, and the exact nature of the fek'ihri still remains ambiguous, yet Emperor Kahless has informed us that we need to pursue these demons' souls into the fiery pits of Grethor and put an end to Molor's scheme. To this end, we've entered into a guided meditation and found ourselves being ferried by Cowardice, the ferryman of the Barge of the Dead, surrounded by familiar faces, including my old captain, Jurlock. After fending off a small boarding party of demons, we have arrived at the gates of Grethor, and are preparing to storm them, to slay Molor's soul, and end what began millennia past.
Are you ready, my friend? Shall we storm the gates of Grethor?
There, do you see? The Lord of Grethor has sent a horde of fek'ihri to block your entry. You will have to fight to walk through those gates. Go! Show them what you are made of. Earn glory for you and your house.
We have rallied the forlorn Orman to our aid, great band name by the way, and stand ready to clash with a retinue of demons before the hellish gates. There's a stifling stillness in the air, and then chaos erupts as the two sides clash. The clash is short and violent, and many Klingons fall in the battle, but we clear the dock of Fek'ihri.
I will unlock the gate. Who am I to stop a fool from fighting in a burnt? The fek'ihri will want to stop me. Keep them busy if you want to go in.
Jurlock offers to be the one to force open the gates. During the battle, it seems we slew the tormentor responsible for opening them. As his hands close on the ancient lever, more demons arrive, this time from the Barge of the Dead. We've seen that they can simply teleport around in this realm, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised to find ourselves flanked. As Jurlock struggles with this lever, one made for one with the strength of a demon twice his size, we wade across a floor of corpses, and we haven't even technically set foot in Grethor yet.
It is done. Go! And kapla!
Before we charge the gates, we take a moment to free up any who will follow, but aside from my boarding party and Kahless, few survived. The fek'ihri horde halts its attack now that the gates are unlocked, and we rally ourselves to close in on the imposing sight. Above the gates towers the symbol of Grethor, Kahless's standard, inverted in mockery of the Empire. We take one last look at our damned captain, and enter. Well, that's pretty much what I was expecting. Beyond, in the fiery halls where the floor is glowing with magma, Ravagers immediately attack us.
Behold, the halls of Grethor, the fortress of the damned, where the fallen are brought into the service of Lord Fek'Lhar. Recall the ferryman's warning. Expect to meet 3 champions of evil: Cowardice, Dishonor, and Treachery. I look forward to crushing them with you in glorious battle!
The souls captured here have been dwelling in Grethor long enough to have lost themselves to its torturous corruption. There will be Klingons ahead, but not all will be friendly, as they have bent the knee to Fek'Lhar in hopes of lessening their burdens, and in ages past 3 of these souls have risen to become paragons of dishonourable acts, and these 3 function as the champions of Fek'Lhar himself. Fek'Lhar is the one who rules Grethor, the chief among demons, and the leader down here, yet it is not him we have come to battle but Molor. In Legends, Molor sided with the fek'ihri horde to boost his tyrannical rise to power, but after being slain by Kahless, his soul was bound for Grethor, as was his arms.
Perhaps that specter can offer guidance. But be wary. Everyone here is fallen in some fashion.
Now, Unfortunately, all this hellishness manifests itself as a glitch, and one enemy ends up being clipped behind a wall, attacking us and preventing us from continuing with the mission. Running back into the entry hall and opening the second set of doors respawned all of the enemies and seems to fix this. We approach the last entity standing in the main hall that strangely did not attack us at all. Instead, it waits patiently and towers over us. This Klingon has burning coals for eyes, and his back is pierced by multiple bat'leths, mek'leths, and blades from a variety of ages.
So, another warrior has come to challenge Grethor in hopes of wresting honor from the dead. There is no honor here, Visitor, and no escape. Not without a price.
A price? You seek to make a deal with us. You've already lied, as there is honour here. We brought it with us. Emperor Kahless, do you know much of this individual?
This is the specter of treachery, an avatar of lies and deceit. The blade in the back, a promise never kept. Be careful in your dealings with it.
Right. Well, Kahless makes a good point, so Treachery, why should I listen to you?
I reside in this place. I know its ways. Without my help, you will be lost here, or return to the land of the living. In either case, you will fail. You will never succeed in your goal. But I will help you, if you will help me.
Oh yeah, no, this isn't going to backfire at all. Sure, please, speak and I shall listen.
Not far from here, you will find two other specters. Dishonor and Cowardice. I grow tired of their wailing and their schemes. Destroy them, hunt them, and defeat them in battle. Do so, and I shall open the way forward to you.
Well, I have no idea how to proceed without someone opening the gates beyond, so fine, we have a deal. Perhaps the other two might know a way through anyhow.
To one side you will find the steps that descend to dishonor, the lower steps to which a Klingon may sink. To the other, the maze of cowardice, in which warriors become lost. Go, hunt and destroy those specters, and we shall have a bargain.
Now, I obviously know he's going to betray us, just as he is now currently betraying his fellow champions by sicking us on them. But, along the way, we may find out more of this place, or perhaps another way through, so why not? When he betrays us, we'll just kill him too. We head towards the right-hand chamber to find that Treachery was indeed being truthful so far. After an expected attack from a skittering demon or two, we can see a staircase that descends into the pit of dishonor. The chamber is a painful contrast to the burning inferno we just passed through. Instead, the air here is frigidly biting, and ice encrusts every surface aside from the point closest to the fires of the main chamber. This was a chamber of stone, but every surface is now encased in ice, every wall a glacial sheet, and examining some of these formations reveals a grisly sight. Klingons are frozen in the formations, still aware but restrained by pillars of consuming cold. We head down and follow the least frosty path to a plaza with a singular champion waiting. This Klingon is donned in chains and little armour. Juxtaposing his burning red eyes is the ice clinging to his form. This must be the specter of dishonor.
I am failure, and I am regret. I am the challenge not given. I am the falsehoods that drip from your tongue like poisoned honey. I am the insult accepted without response, and the warrior who dies in captivity. I am dishonor. Know me, and surrender your spirit to despair.
Nice speech. Did you rehearse that? What? No comeback? Oh, yeah, of course, that's right.
Face me like a true warrior, or experience speed.
We cannot harm him. He has no honor. His might comes from those he torments within this chamber. Free his captives. Without their power, Dishonor will be vulnerable to defeat. Then, the damned may have their revenge!
Sounds a plan. Keep him occupied, I'm going to start freeing people.
There! Without his prisoners, his hold is weakening, and we can defeat him. We cannot harm him. He has no honor. The damned may have their revenge!
While the team keeps him busy, we free the captive souls encased in the ice by shattering it without bat'leth, and as Kahless predicted, these tortured Klingons burn with a desire for vengeance and set themselves against Dishonor. Who knows, perhaps these acts will serve to redeem their failures. After circling the entire frozen chamber, we join the battle to see that more fek'ihri have spawned in to join their master. Dishonor releases a cold aura of damaging frost as we attack him, and I break away from the attack to deal with the fek'ihri reinforcements. When I turn back, I can see that Dishonor, with no tortured souls left to feed off, has fallen to Kahless. We mop up the remainder of his horde, and then regroup.
Dishonor is banished. Now we must find and defeat Cowardice.
Did I just hear someone have a snack? I mean, sure, why not? So, after apparently stopping for a bite to eat, we then move on to hunt for Cowardice. So this level of Grethor is very similar to the lowest depths of hell as depicted in Dante's Inferno. The ninth circle is encased in ice and reserved for traitors and treacherous villains. Lucifer itself is imprisoned there, and it shows the severity with which betrayal is considered. For Klingons, Dishonor is worse than most other fates, and this level was described as the lowest level a Klingon could sink to. Dishonored souls here are encased in ice in the same way as those traitors locked in the ninth circle of hell. After experiencing that Arctic room, I'm strangely happy to be back in the fiery main hall. We cross it to the left-hand chamber, exchanging no words with Treachery. Now, this area beyond is much larger than the lair of Dishonor. It is also very dark, unfortunately for the video. This is the maze of Cowardice. Here in the shadows the coward hides, shielding his face from us, ready to flee into the depths of his labyrinth to escape. The specter of Cowardice is hooded and withered, but deceptively powerful. He witnesses our approach and speaks.
I am the shadow of fear. I am the dark hand that clutches your heart and closes your throat for battle. I am the doubt that forces you to flee. I am the anguish of the damned who die in their beds. I am Cowardice. Look upon me and tremble. If you think you have enough steel in your soul to survive, challenge me and face your destiny.
Daruk the coward! Once charged with defending Boreth, he fled from glorious battle with the Herc. His own men killed him for it, and now he haunts Grethor for eternity. Prepare for the chase. In the end, a coward always runs from battle.
And sure enough, with a screech of fear, Daruk attacks us in a panicked savagery. We beat him back with equal force, and the spectre withdraws into the shadows, turning invisible in an obscuring frosty cloud.
Cowardice flees into the dark. We must bring light to this maze to hunt him down and finish him.
Throughout this maze, the spectre flees into the darkness, and we have to light the inactive braziers to reveal him. Beyond the closed doors, the labyrinthine corridors are cloaked in complete inky void. The only way to illuminate it is to seal ourselves and delve into the dark until we find a torch to light. Emerging from the chamber we just left, Cowardice attacks us from behind before repeating his trick of retreating into the shade in a blast of air. As we delve into this dungeon's depths, we illuminate as we go, lessening the places where the specter can retreat to. The maze is filled with monstrous creatures, not just the fek'ihri, but gre'thor-bound targs wreathed in flame. These searing swine have the heat of a furnace and set fires where they tread in the poor souls whom they gore. Upon their death, their inferno consumes them and they vanish. I guess this is where all the bad targ go, which means that there are good targ in Sto-vo-kor, and this gives me the courage to continue on. As we bring fire to the corridors, more demonic forms are revealed that share no such inconvenience such as not being able to see in the dark. Finally, we open one door to find Cowardice charging into us, fleeing, seeking somewhere else to hide, and he is forced into combat once again. During the battle, he overpowers Roka and she goes down, but her comrades are here to pull her to her feet and the battle resumes. Bravery is found more readily in the arms of allies, something Cowardice doesn't seem to have, and he tries to flee, only to find himself confronted by the torches we've lit throughout the maze. Finally, we have him cornered.
With the specters of cowardice and dishonor defeated, we must return and deal with treachery. Are you ready for the sudden but inevitable betrayal?
Oh my god. Kahless just quoted Firefly. Ah, yes. We shall curse his sudden yet inevitable betrayal. I love this game at times. But in all seriousness, we know Treachery is going to attack us now that we've done this, but there is a small part of me that thinks he might keep his word in order to really confuse us. But then again, he's not the Spectre of Confusion, is he? I don't think he has any control over his nature. Fine, let's go deal with the traitor. Naturally, I finish mapping out the maze, but find nothing else of value aside from some mist demons. Upon returning to the main hall, we see Treachery awaiting us, a grin on his face.
Behold the triumphant heroes! You have done well. Both of my pathetic rivals have been dispatched, and I stand alone. I suppose it is time for me to uphold my end of the bargain.
It would be, except you're not going to, are you?
I'm afraid not. By the look on your face, I'd wager that you were expecting this outcome. I mean, it's not like I am the avatar of honesty, is it? Come on then, let us be done with it. Only one of us will move on from here, and I must say, I don't like your chances.
Are you kidding me? We just killed 2 out of 3 of this. You know what? We'll deal with you as well. His reinforcements materialise around us. Treachery's forces are numerous, the souls of those Klingons who betrayed in life and pledged themselves to his forces in death. Unlike those encased in ice or those cowards in a maze warped into snivelling shadow-clinging demons, these individuals made a choice. They deserve no quarter. Treachery radiates a debilitating aura and naturally doesn't fight fair. We know from episode 118 of Stos that the spirit of Treachery lives on past this encounter. He materialises in the Dominion's fek'ihri facility. And despite its defeat, I believe that this is simply because that these specters, these Champions of Fek'Lhar, are simply going to reconstitute after defeat. After all, we are in Grethor, surrounded by the dead and damned. Plus, they are manifestations of Klingon sins, and will probably persist as long as they do.
The 3 specters are defeated! Now all that lies before us is the final challenge. The last enemy. The one you came here to face. I know him well, for he vexed me greatly so many years ago. He is my greatest rival, my deadliest foe.
Molor, the tyrant.
Indeed. I thought myself rid of him when I buried my mighty blade deep in his chest. And yet, his evil remains within this place. Come, friend. Once more, let us go into glorious battle together. Let us be the end of Molor.
Whether or not this truly is Kahless doesn't really matter right now, because I bet you Molor remembers that sword. We take a last minute to look at our companions, those who would brave Grethor on this mad mission, before we force open the doors now that those guarding them are dead. Beyond is a long corridor of stairs leading to Fek'Lhar's throne room, but if we can, we should avoid the literal ruler of Grethor and go for Molor. Molor retains a lot of influence and sway over these demonic halls, and perhaps has become a champion of Fek'Lhar in his own right, but his ambition has not diminished in these fires. If anything, it has smouldered and grown more monstrous. The towering room beyond is filled with demons, and a single Klingon, clad in black armour, stands at the base of a large throne, awaiting us. There is no sign of the dread Fek'Lhar.
And so you come at last. Into these halls you march, scattering the dregs of the afterlife, leaving them broken in your wake. You are strong indeed. You have my hated nemesis at your side. But it will not be enough. For here I am superior. There will be no victory for you here.
He recognises Kahless. Interesting. But this is Fek'Lhar's realm, and I don't see him here, only a braggart.
Am I? Even now my fek'ihri spread chaos and death throughout the stars. Soon there will be an ocean of blood, and there will be nothing to stop me from returning to the land of the living. If that feckless clone can walk the secret ground of qo'nos again, so too shall Molor!
Unlikely, because for all your bluster, you are unworthy then, and you are unworthy now.
Bold words, but hollow. Soon it will be Kahless who will dwell here for eternity. Here he shall burn, while I sack and pillage his pathetic empire. But he will not suffer alone. You too will dwell within these halls with your beloved emperor. Two lost souls screaming into the void, while I, Molor, shall reign supreme for 1,000 years!
Then face us, would-be tyrant, and seal your fate. The skirmish breaks out immediately. He unleashes his two Grethor Helltargs against us, along with a smattering of sinister shaves that fly around, pelting us with attacks. Molor himself draws steel and charges in, wielding not a bat'leth, but a more traditional sword, although it is wreathed in flame. It's a nice addition to detail. The bat'leth, after all, was a creation of Kahless, his hated enemy, so naturally he would reject it. Plus, Molor rose to power in a time before the bat'leth, when Klingons used more, well, generic swords. After we take care of his reinforcements, Molor reveals an ace up his sleeve.
Behold my true power! It will be the last thing you see before you die!
It seems his millennia steeped in the aura of Grethor has transformed the tyrant into something more demonic, or perhaps his soul was twisted by Fek'Lhar upon their alliance in ancient times. Either way, Molor doubles in stature, grows horns and fangs, while his skin turns to the leathery hide of a fek'ihri. The combat continues until even in this body he is overwhelmed and falls, returning to his Klingon form.
How can this be? Within these halls, I am invincible! Unless... No, it cannot be! Fek'Lhar has forsaken me! I am betrayed!
Yeah, you sought to overthrow Fek'Lhar and gain power in Grethor, but he runs the show down here?
Revel while you can, worm! For one day, I will rule Grethor! I will open the gates wide and send every misbegotten soul within to lay waste to the Klingon Empire! So swears Molor!
And on that day you'll find us ready, demon.
At last it is done. Molor has been defeated once more. And without him, the fek'ihri will slink back into the darkest corners of the galaxy.
For now, but will this actually stop them? They can open rifts at whim, it seems, and why now? I think we'll see him again.
Yes, and if they should ever return to offer challenge, let us hope that warriors of the Empire, such as we, stand ready to vanquish them once again. Come, warrior. The time has come to return to Boreth.
So, Molor sided with fek'ihri to rule qo'nos, but in doing so consigned his soul to Fek'Hlar. Fek'Hlar, for his part, held Molor in a position of power in Grethor, giving him minions and even shifting his form to outclass even his champions. But in the end, Molor's ambition never diminished, and he sought more power. So Fek'Hlar simply deserted him in his time of need. Without the demon lord's backing, Molor was defeated. Rather than learning his place, however, it seems he's sworn to usurp Fek'Hlar himself, and, well, good luck with that. As it is now, the fek'ihri horde has been quelled for a time, but not all is forgotten. We leave the realm of Grethor and awake on the heated stone floor of the meditational shrine on Boreth.
Kapla, I see the change in your heart. You have faced the champions of Grethor and lived to tell the tale.
Well, I guess I did. That was certainly very real. Thank you for your guidance, my Emperor.
Guidance is but the beginning in battle. Knowing how to follow it, to use it to claim victory, that is the mark of a true warrior. I see that in you. Truly, you are one of the greatest warriors of your age.
That is high praise indeed. Thank you. Ah, Captain Kagran, you weren't there in our quest, vision, whatever.
You look like a warrior with a tale to tell. I look forward to hearing it soon, over some blood wine.
Certainly, full of great deeds and great songs.
You'll be happy to know that the demons have quit the field. The monastery is secure once more.
Kapla, and this is an overall victory. It does seem more than coincidence that they fled entirely after we completed our task in Grethor, so maybe it was all real. Although you did just see us on the floor asleep, right? Right? Kagran? Tenevik?
It is as we have foreseen. The fek'ihri are defeated, and it will be some time before they return.
Ah, so you're of the mind that they will return too. Good, good. But, what just happened, honestly?
That is a matter of perspective. To Kagran, a foul enemy invaded this sacred place, and with great effort, they were defeated. For you, for Kahless, a great journey, battles worthy of song and legend. Was it real? Was it a dream? Who is to say? In the end, Boreth is secure once again.
So you're basically just telling me to believe what I want, not to think too hard about whether or not it was all real. Either way, we got the results we wanted. Could you just give me a straight answer?
Time is a riddle. If my answers are unclear, it is because this matter is as much myth and symbol as it is flesh and blood. Know this. You have done well. You have saved the Empire from the fek'ihri side by side with the Emperor.
Well, yeah, that's actually completely true. Okay, you know what? Fine. Thank you for your help, I think, Tenevik. So, Rolka has some thinking to do. Actual meditation this time, not involving demons and emperors, just to sort out what she experienced. The fek'ihri are real, insofar as they are aliens that emerged from another realm and attacked. Fact. These are creatures created by the Founders, but they may also be the demons from myth. If they are one and the same, then does that make Grethor a subspace realm or something? Where Klingons actually go when they die? Or was this entire mission just the mad ramblings of some alien invaders, then the fume-filled group hallucination of some adrenaline-pumped warriors confronted with their superstitions? Either way, it doesn't matter. We drove back the fek'ihri, and if they believe wholly in the rituals and myths of ancient qo'nos, then they should fear us. And if we choose to believe, well then we have nothing to fear, because we really did triumph there too. We think on it for some time, and I'm curious on your thoughts of the conclusion of this whole mythology. It's deliberately open for interpretation, and it makes for a cool string of missions. When we're done, we return to the IKS Koskari and report to Chancellor Jambok.
You have done much for the Empire this day. You fought at the side of the Emperor himself and defeated one of our greatest enemies. Honor to you and your house, warrior. As for the fek'ihri, we have much to learn about them. Know that I have tasked some of our greatest minds with solving the riddle of these so-called demons. They may strike again, and the Empire must be ready. But there is one thing we do know. They can be defeated, should they crawl forth from whatever pit they dwell in to attack us again. I will call on you to meet them in glorious battle. Qapla'!
Qapla'. Jambok seems eager to settle the matter and call it dealt with, but I'm not so sure. This brings us to an end of the Klingons' introductory missions, and next week's will be a switchover episode covering the outline of the remainder of the Klingon players' experiences before jumping back to Admiral Mark Hale and the USS Armiger. Well, at least for a while, because after this comes the Age of Discovery story arc, and a huge shake-up of the Klingon affairs, but that will come later. So for now, thanks for watching the story series, as we continue to explore the ever-changing, growing, adapting, confusing story of Star Trek Online. I've been Rick. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.